On to our first keynote of the day. We'll get straight away started. We're going to be hearing from Zoe Sams, who is a tools programmer at Rockstar Games. She is one of Develop's 30 under 30, and she is a board member on the Scottish Games Developers Association. She's here to talk to us today about empathy in games development, which I'm sure you're all aware is quite a hot topic at the moment. It's a topic that's very, very important to me because I think it's very important that we feel rather than just think our way through the games industry. But here to tell you about this in a lot more detail, please give it up for Zoe Sams. Hey Zoe!
Okay if I talk like this? Nope, I'll hold it instead then. So tip number one for public speaking, don't wear your glasses if you need glasses, because then you can't see the audience and they're far less intimidating to you. When I was asked to do this talk on Friday, 6 days ago, and I realized I had 6 days to present something on, and something just before a panel that I feel is really important, like that it takes a village, about collaboration, I was extremely excited, but a wee bit nervous, I think is fair to say. I was really daunted. I panicked for a bit. I was like, oh, what am I going to write? And I realized I could just speak from the heart. I've always been a collaborator. It's something that I've done from the youngest age. I never wanted to do just one thing. I did ballet, I skateboarded, I played electric guitar. My Bratz dolls often had some run-ins with my Spider-Man figurines, and well, if you see that in the future, you know where it was from. But it was always, the main theme of that was I enjoyed the intersection of things that didn't belong together. This was instrumental in me choosing a career as well. When I decided upon games development, I realized it was because that I was good at maths and logic, but my passion lied in creativity. I loved making art, and games are the perfect amalgamation of the two. But this wasn't even my first career choice. I actually originally wanted to do performance art and musical theatre, which in itself is a collaboration of 3 different disciplines. It's acting, singing, and dance. And I was lucky enough, back in 2013, to be able to combine both of my loves. One of the most rewarding projects I ever took part on was at the Neon Festival, northeast of North, where we did a collaborative project on, it was based on a poem called Kaleidoscope. And it was projection mapping and dance. We had an interactive kaleidoscope that the audience could use, and it was seeing people interact with that, but also seeing performers move with digital shapes was almost overwhelming. I still get quite emotional about it when I think about it. But then I came around to background when I was looking at performance art and realizing that that wasn't the career that I was going to take, and came into games. I went to Abertay University and I studied computer games technology there back in 2010. And it was in my 3rd year that I came across a module called Technical Art Applications. And in this module, we took the computer games technology course, which was entirely programming, and the computer arts course, and we put them together in a room. And we all learnt from each other. We do things like more towards the art side of character rigging, we do more towards the programming side of scripting, and we'd all learn different parts, we'd help each other. And that was when I first felt truly like I'd found my role in the games industry. I'd always wanted to work in the games industry, but I never knew exactly how that would look. But I've also always wanted to help people. It's something that's always been like, I'd do it. A kid fell down in the playground, I'd sit with them until somebody came. It was just finding tools when I was talking to others and could see their responses to my help it was extremely rewarding. So I took that and I went on to do a master's at Bournemouth University in computer animation and visual effects, knowing that I wanted to specialise in a discipline of technical art or animation tools. And from there, I ended up with my job back in 2015. I started as a junior tools programmer at Rockstar North. And tools programming, if you don't know it, is, well, a tools programmer comes in many different forms. Languages and APIs differ, company roles will switch slightly, but at its core, a tools programmer is someone who helps. It's three things really, I think. The three values of tools programming are communication, collaboration, and care. If you can't communicate with others, you can't understand and empathize with their needs, I remember a couple of times when I've been sitting with character artists and we've been looking at something and they've messaged me and like, can you please come help? And I've gone up and they've been sitting, pulling their hair out for the last hour, not able to get something to work. And so I come and I sit down beside them, and for the next hour I pull my hair out with them. And I realized that I'm feeling those frustrations. I'm empathizing with those frustrations. If I can't even deal with it for an hour, how does this person use this tool on a day-to-day basis? That means that that tool has inherently failed because it's not useful. A tool needs to be something that makes someone's jobs easier, that, as I said, it helps people. So the communication, collaboration, and care. What you take from that is communication. You have to first open a dialogue, see what people need, what their day-to-day would make things better for them. You then collaborate on that. You create a tool, you talk to them, you see what they think, they give you feedback, and you update it again. And then here is that moment of understanding why they need this tool, why it makes their lives easier. And I think this is something that I learned as a tools programmer, but it's not inherently just for tools. Care in general is necessary in any kind of communication in game development. You need to be able to empathize with the people that you're working with to understand what their role is and how you can help them and how you can work together to make something kind of magical. Because games are magic. I spoke earlier in our roundtable discussion about how when I was younger, I'd play games and I'd look online, and I didn't ever think of a career in games because they were just made by magic, right? There was no one made games. That wasn't a career. But it is, and we're all here, and we're all collaborators, even just being in a room together. I've been doing a talk recently, which you can tell I took some of my inspiration from these 6 days from, called Femininity in Tools Programming, and how all these traits, like all these soft skills of collaboration, care, communication, they are inherently feminine traits at that. And the way I've been wrapping up that talk and how I'm going to wrap up this one, is something that I really enjoy on a Twitter feed that I saw that discussed programming specifically, but I think extends to game development, as gardening. You have these beautiful flowers growing, these wonderful bushes, you're pruning things, you're taking things away, you're adding other things. It can be art to make sure that it looks good, programming to make sure it all works behind the scenes. If that's the case, then tools programming is the soil of that. You need good soil to be able to grow anything. You need good tools to be able to create a game that's enjoyable, not just for your players, but for yourself. Yeah, I think I rushed through that. I'm not going to lie, I think that was quite quick, but thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Zoe. No,